Hey folks, this is Daisy Does It, part two. So today I thought it might be fun, enlightening, to teach you a little bit about my old DOC, which means drug of choice. I learned that when I was at rehab. What's your DOC? I was like, what the fuck's a DOC? Whatever. My old DOC was ketamine. Ketamine, Special K is what they used to call it in like the fucking 80s and 90s. We don't call it that anymore. We call it K. Some people in text will call it Kizzle, Kiz, Meow, Kitties, Hey, do you have those foster kittens that I needed? I need 3.5 of them. How much is that again? 110? 180? Oh, okay. Would you take 160? Anyway. So, a lot of people don't know much about ketamine. People are like, oh, it's a cat killer, it's a tranquilizer, whatever. Yeah, it's a tranquilizer, and it has a lot of really great uses. It's also not good for a lot of parts of your body, and especially your bladder. It affects your bladder pretty horrendously. I have a lot of bladder issues because of it. And your kidney, your liver, if you're snorting it. I've been told, I don't know how much truth there goes to this, but I've been told it's worse for you to snort it than to inject it. You don't inject it into your vein, you inject it in your muscle. So I know injecting things has a bad stigma to it. I've never injected anything, but inject it in the muscle, which isn't as bad as the vein, and it's actually healthier for you and saves more money. You get a better high, apparently. I've been told. Who knows? Maybe I'll try it someday. No, maybe, I don't know. But basically when you inject it, it doesn't pass through your liver and your kidney and bladder as severely as it does when you snort it, and it passes through all of that and can really damage it. So those are some of the bad things. Plus, it's fucking expensive as hell, and people who deal it, always meth heads. Do you know why? Do you know why they're always meth heads that sell it? Because there's not a very large profit margin on selling ketamine. So the only people who sell it deal meth too, and do meth. They sell everything. Meth dealers sell everything. People on probation usually sell ketamine. My last dealer is on probation, and ketamine doesn't show up on drug tests. True fact. You think a lot of people are scared to do it because they're like, I don't know if I believe that. No, I've done ketamine and taken a drug test. My dealer has been on probation, sells ketamine, does ketamine constantly, and has not broken his probation. He gets urine tested all the time. What are you gonna do? Anyway. So that's a little, factual shit about ketamine. But, so its effects, honestly, first time I did ketamine, I was 19, 2 years ago. Yeah, like 2 years ago. And I was at a really bad point in my life. I was dating this homeless kid. He was homeless by choice. He was just a dick. He was an alcoholic. Crazy asshole. Dating him, I wasn't healthy. I was partying all the time. But it's fine. It's fine to party sometimes. But I was partying too much. And I'm not somebody who does drugs when I go out. I know. People are like, that's the reason you take drugs. Not me. I like to go out sober. I like to do drugs when I'm inside, at my apartment or at someone's house that I really know with, a couple close friends or someone I'm my hubby, just get it on, do some drugs, watch cartoons, whatever. So we were hanging out at this, party kid's house, and Ryan is doing ketamine, and I'm like, what's that? And he's like, ketamine. And I was like, what does it do? And he's like, it makes you dumb. It makes you real stupid. And I was like, do you know what? That sounds great. So I did some. I just did a little bit to start. And what ketamine does when you just do like a little bit of it, it's great. So there's all these tricks to ketamine. There's like different tiers. Every other drug, it's like, okay, it does this one thing. Always. Consistent. You know, I've never done cocaine, but cocaine does this one thing. Molly does this one thing. Sass does this one thing. Acid. People think like acid's the craziest drug. The craziest drug I've done, ketamine. Your brain collapses in on itself in a great way. So if you do like a bump, you can do a bump and like it'll just ease your anxiety and your depression. There's trial studies right now at MGH where they give someone ketamine, inject it, fluid. If someone comes in and they're actively suicidal, give it to them, boom. It's fine because it makes you put everything in perspective, you know. It really is a very neat drug, and I think that's why, I mean, it's used in anesthesia. It's a great anesthetic. I've taken it when I've gotten tattoos, and it basically just makes your skin feel numb so you don't feel it. So it's used medically, and they're trying to use it for antidepressants, for anti-anxiety medications. And do you know what? That's why I've taken ketamine in the past. Sometimes I have fun, but really, I have really, really horrible anxiety, and it helps. So if you do a little bit, just eases your anxiety, eases your depression. If you want to do a little more, you get a little wobbly. The effects are like, I call it K-rocked. A lot of people call it K-rocked. You get wobbly. It kind of makes you like you're drunk. And if you drink with it, it like heightens the effects of being drunk. It like blurred vision. Doesn't sound fun, but it is. Blurred vision, you're kind of wobbly. You kind of get this Alice in Wonderland effect where like the room, you seem too tall for the room, and you know your depth perception's fucked up, and it's kind of cool. And then there's a whole nother level. There's you've probably heard the term K-hole. Don't put someone in a K-hole their first time doing K, because they will not like it. You need to ease into the K-hole. That's why when I've been with people their first time doing K, you know, I kind of ease them through the process. I tell them a little bit about it. And do you know what? The first time you do a K-hole, feels like you're dying. But do you know what? If you just tell yourself beforehand, it's okay. You just gotta embrace it. It's awesome. It kind of like goes into your brain and it like figures out, I don't know how, it figures out all the things you're subconsciously thinking about your whole day, and it kind of like just rocks your world. It really just rocks your world. It puts everything in fucking crazy perspective, and it kind of like lays out. It's kind of like a dream, and it really is like a dream because you're kind of just in this la la land, and no one else can see what you're seeing. You know, it's like personalized to you and your brain, and it's like a dream in the sense that when you're done, all this awesome shit happened in your brain, but you can't tell anyone about it because you can't, you know, when you try and tell someone about a dream, you can't form the words, you don't know how to explain it. It made so much sense while it was happening. It makes no sense to anyone else. None. Zero. So those are kind of the tiered levels. There's kind of like 3 or 4 levels to ketamine. And a trick, if you're going to be doing K, not a lot of people know this, but honestly, this is one of the only drugs that actually has a trick like this. There's no other drug I know that you can use something like this. If you find yourself too K-rocked, too much in a K-hole, you get a call from the hospital and you need to go identify a body and you need to be sober and driving or whatever. Sugar. The best thing is Coca-Cola because it has so much concentrated sugar. But yeah, I will always keep Coca-Cola around if I'm going to be doing K. Get some Coke, drink a glass, drink, a couple glasses, sobers you up. Like not within an hour, like within minutes. Drink some Coca-Cola, fine. Boom. Daisy does it.